Scaling automation is not just about building workflows and workflows. It is also about how do you manage the security, how do you control the access to your environment, how do you track the executions which are happening of those workflows, and how do you ensure that workflows are not failing silently. Welcome to my course on AI automation powered by n8n. In this last lesson of this course, I'm going to talk about some of the enterprise grade features that n8n offers in order to secure your workflows, track your executions, and integrate the source control or version controls in your n8n environments. Towards the end, I'll just have a recap of the entire course and what next steps that you can follow, where you can follow, and how you can be part of this awesome AI automation community forever. So let's start with the first enterprise grade feature, which is more like how you can save the execution data, not just the data that is getting by default saved, but also some other data, some additional attributes or properties that are flowing in your workflow. You want to save them and track the executions of those workflows using them. But first question that may be coming to your mind: why do I need to save such kind of data in my workflows? Well, when you are building workflows for a medium to large scale enterprises, those automations can have thousands of executions on a daily basis. So in those thousands of execution, how do you track if something is failing? How do you filter those kinds of execution that you are interested in? One way is that you browse through each and every execution log and see whether that execution log belongs to that workflow, whether there is an error or not, and then basically troubleshoot or debug them. The second and the most convenient and efficient way of tracking your workflows when there are thousands of execution going on is to use the execution data node, which allows you to save some additional attributes in the execution logs, which can be used while filtering the executions in the execution tab. So you can save data like email addresses, order IDs, customer number, payment transaction numbers, or anything that you are interested in to track your data or your automation workflows. So let's get to the screen share and see this thing in action. Alright, I'm logged into the cloud instance of my n8n workspace, and you can see I have some data that is coming from this execute workflow manual trigger. I have pinned this data. It has trade ID stock symbol. It is one of the lessons that we did earlier in this course. So I'm going to use this. So first thing that you have to do is let's go ahead and search for execution data node. So you can see that this execution data node allows you to add execution data that can be searched to filter out the execution log. So if I click on it, so it has opened the configuration screen, and you can see that operation says save highlight data for search and review. So I have to click on this add saved field in order to save my data. In the key, you will define the key that you have to say. It could be order number, it could be email. Over here, I would be more or less interested in trade IDs. So I'm going to say trade_ID. So that's what I'm going to go after, or I can also have sale date as well. And in the value, you are searching for the value. So I'm going to drag this over here. So this way you are going to have trade_ID with the ID column. Suppose someone reaches out in your organization and they refer that for so and so trade ID, I am having issues. So in that case, you can have the trade ID value and try to search the execution log that will filter out the exact workflow that failed. So that is where this kind of data is used. It is not that you are just limited to one field, but you can also save another field. So for example, I'm maybe interested in purchase date filtering. So I can use that. Sorry, I have to cut this. This will be more like a value. So I'm going to use this value. So this way you can filter out all the execution for a particular purchase date if there is an issue on that particular date for all the orders or all the trades that are happening. In the key, we will mention purchase_date, and I'll say execute this step. So this has output all the data, but behind the scenes in the execution log, this data has been saved. So what we can do is we can go back, and over here, I'll go to the personal tab. We'll say save changes, and over here, we'll go to the executions. And this was the workflow that I just executed, workflow tell marking data. So I'm going to click on this. So you can see that it has been successfully executed. But where you can filter over here, of course you can filter, but the main problem is that you have to filter on the execution tab. So here, if I click on this filter, you can see that highlighted data field is there. Filter execution any type of data that you have saved using the execution data node. So this is where you can enter the key based on the key and the value of it, it is going to filter the exact execution. In our case, we saved two types of keys. One was trade ID, the second was purchase date. So we can enter purchase date or trade ID over here, and the values of it is going to filter it. I am not allowed to do it because you can see that I have to upgrade my plan in order to filter execution data by custom data set at runtime. So if you have to use this feature, you have to upgrade your plan to either Pro plan or a plan which is more like an enterprise plan. That's where you are going to get this feature enabled of execution search, which is more like custom data search or custom data saved during the execution of your workflow. Now the second feature that I wanted to talk about is the version control. So you can attach the version control to your n8n environment so that you can source control or version control all the workflows that your teams or you are building. And why such a version control is needed? Well, all these workflows that you will be building could be complex. They will evolve over time. Without version control, a small mistake can break the live automations. So in that case, you can enable in the enterprise version of n8n Git based version control, which allows you to keep the development environment and production environment separate. That means you can have your production workflows and development workflows separate. Once you are satisfied with your development workflows, you can promote them to the production environment so that in the production environment nothing fails. Second thing is you can roll back your workflows to the previous versions which were working perfectly fine in a matter of seconds. And third thing, I have already explained that you can enable the safe pushes to the production environment using this safeguarded approach of multiple environments in your automation workflows. So where do you get access to this feature? Well, you go back to the workspace over here. Now at the bottom, you see my name over here. You click on the settings. Then over here, you can see the environment. So once I click on it, it explains that you can use multiple instances of different environment, dev, prod, test, QA, UAT, etc. deploying them via Git repository. If you don't know Git, search about it. It is more like a version control that allows to maintain different versions of the same file so that you can roll back or restore the previous versions, or you can see how your workflows have evolved over time. As again, this feature is only available on enterprise plan, and we are talking in this video all the enterprise grade features. If you are interested in it, you have to purchase the enterprise plan for it. The third feature that I wanted to talk about that is available in pro or enterprise grade plans is the use of custom variables. Well, what is a custom variable? You had used variables which were inside your workflows, and I touched upon this topic in one of the lessons of the course as well, that you can use variables which is more like local variables inside your workflow. So if you define a variable inside a workflow, you cannot use that variable outside the workflow that you are building. For example, you have a database where you want to store data which is being processed in multiple workflows. So what you might be doing is you will be having a local variable where database string is stored or details are stored of that particular database. Using that local variable, you are able to use that in your one workflow. But if you have to use the same thing in the second workflow, you will have to create the same variable again in the second workflow. Similarly, third and fourth, if you have 5, 10, 20, you have to duplicate that variable over here. The problem comes, let's suppose you were hosting that particular database on a particular URL in AWS cloud. Now you decide to change it to Google Cloud or Azure Cloud and host it over there. In that case, you will have to go over that 1, 2, 5, 20, whatever number of workflows that you have created the local variable in, you have to update all of them. So that becomes a problem, especially in the large scale automations or enterprise grade automations. So in that case, n8n gives you a feature where you can define global variables, and these global variables allows n8n to adapt to different types of environments effortlessly by changing the value at only one place. And in the enterprise option, if you have environments enabled as well, then what you can also do is you can define a global variable like database underscore URL, and the value of this database underscore URL would be different in dev environment and production environment. But in your workflows, you can refer everywhere as $var.database underscore URL, and you won't need to change anything in any workflow. Whenever you decide to change the URL or rehost your database somewhere else, you just change the value at one place and all your workflows which are referencing this variable gets updated. Now, if you look at the screen, these variables can be defined. If I go back from settings, over here you can start defining your global variables, and you can see that it does not require enterprise plan, but even if you have a pro plan which costs you $60 a month, that's where you will be able to access these global variables. And as it is saying that variables can be used to store and access data across workflows, you can reference them in n8n using a prefix of $vars, example $vars dot my variable. So that's how you would access it, by defining a variable in the enterprise plan. And one thing you should note, that is variables are immutable and cannot be modified inside your workflow. So that means that you cannot use the edit fields or set node in order to change the value of the variable. These will always be immutable. That means if you have to change the value of the global variable, you have to come to this screen where that variable will be defined and change the value over there. The fifth enterprise level feature that I wanted to talk about is saving your credentials in something called a secret manager or an external much safer place, not in your n8n environments, not in your n8n workflows. This allows you to have your API keys, any type of credentials such as username, password, or any other credentials to be saved in external secret management services such as Azure Key Vault or AWS Secrets Manager. All these services are external services that allows you to store the secrets, which are more like credentials or API keys. They are stored over there in a secured manner so that you do not need to hard code or mention any type of these secure credentials or secrets in your workflows. So that's why in enterprises or large scale businesses, in order to protect from a security breach or any kind of security risk, generally the organization want to store their credentials in a more secured vaults or secured services such as HashiCorp Vault, Azure Key Vault, or AWS Secrets Manager, and there are others as well. All these services keeps your credentials secure and encrypted. Let's go back again. It's an enterprise grade feature. You have to go to the settings tab. In the settings place, you have this external secrets tab over here. If you click on it, you can see that this is available on enterprise plan. So once you enable this plan, it will allow you to connect to external secret manager services. So once this external secret manager service is connected, you can start retrieving your secrets dynamically inside the workflows and save them without exposing them any kind of logs or workflow exports. The final feature is the log streaming feature that allows you to export all the logs which are being generated in your n8n workspace into an external monitoring system. Some of the organization would have like a single pane of glass where they are monitoring each and everything from a central place. All those teams which are more like resilience team or SRE teams or even the IT support and management team, they would have access to these monitoring dashboards just to look at if all the applications are working perfectly fine or not. So in that case, if your workflows are not running perfectly fine, they have some sort of delays, or you have some workflows or error workflows defined that are raising some sort of an alert, you would need some sort of integration which provides you the log streaming kind of capability, which allows you to stream data in real time, more like logs in real time, on which actions can be taken or alerts can be sent or monitoring can happen. So instead of checking logs manually, you can stream the execution events to a central monitoring system, and that allows real-time alerts when any type of issue occurs. Again, it's an enterprise feature, and you can see in the settings section, you can have this log streaming over here. There are a couple of more features, for example, LDAP and SSO integration. If you have some sort of SSO built in, you do not want to use the credential management of n8n, you can connect the SSO as an enterprise with the n8n instance that you have and enable the SSO for your entire team or the organization or the employees who want to access your n8n workspace. So these are some of the important enterprise grade features or pro level features that you might want to check upon if you are interested in it. If you are specially developing some workflows or automation for large-scale enterprises, then some of these features are worth checking out and worth exploring. So that is it, my friend. This is the end of this course. You started on this journey knowing very little about automations, AI-powered automations, and even n8n. But now you have built fully automated systems that can create content, handle emails, make decisions, optimize workflows, and all that without you writing a single line of code. This isn't just a course, this is more like a transformation into an AI automation expert who can streamline processes, boost productivity, and scale workflows like a pro. Now that you have completed the course, appreciated what you have accomplished, what is next for you? Where do you go from here? Here is how you can continue your AI automation journey. Well, the first thing is you should continue to build and experiment with more and more workflows. You have to apply what you have learned to real world business problems. Explore some of the advanced integrations like database automation or AI powered chatbots as well. Second thing is you need to stay updated and keep learning. Automation is evolving field. Follow n8n updates to discover new features. Follow my channel in order to see what is coming in the AI automation world journey, what are new things that are coming in n8n, some of the feature upgrades, and some of the complex AI powered workflows, how to build them, how to build AI agents, in not even build, how to sell those AI agents to your customers. I talk about all this on my channel, so you have to stay tuned to my YouTube channel. Then you should keep experimenting with new AI models and API integrations to enhance your workflows and make them smarter and efficient. One thing you can also do is you can join some of the automation or AI automation community and networks, which will allow you to connect with other automation experts in forums and online communities. You should think about contributing to n8n's open source community. You can build custom nodes, you can share the workflows, you can even sell the workflows in n8n community, and above all, you will be learning a lot from others as well. n8n community is a free hub for any type of automation expert, be it an AI automation expert or just a workflow automation expert or an AI agent builder. It is a place where users can ask for help when stuck on complex workflows. You can request for new features to enhance n8n's functionality, and you can report bugs or receive quick fixes on the issues that you are facing. And do not forget to explore the n8n templates library, because there are thousands of n8n workflow templates which are already available over there in the templates library. Some of the workflows could be these getting started workflow, where you can modify those workflows to suit your business needs, and maybe some of those templatized workflows can work as is for your use case. So there is no harm in exploring them. And above all, before starting to write any workflow from scratch, always go and search the template library, because like I said, they can act as a launchpad for your workflow. Automation is the future, and you are now part of that movement. Finally, it is time for me to invite you to my personal community that you can join using the link that is given in the description of this video or in the first comment, where you can connect with like-minded AI automation experts. You can take help or seek help from me as well directly on your problems that you are facing while building your workflows. You can get access to the premium resources that I publish in the community, and all this will help you level up your automation skills. Click the link below in order to join the community and get started right away. Finally, AI powered automation is not just about saving time, it is all about unwinding the new possibilities that are out there. Now that you have all these skills through this course, you have your limit set to your creativity. So keep experimenting, keep automating, and keep pushing the boundaries with the AI and n8n combination. I would like to thank you for joining me in this course. Now go out there and build something incredible. And if you like my course, do not forget to share it with others, encourage others to join my community and subscribe to my YouTube channel or join this course, so that you and I can together make this AI automation journey accessible to everyone out there.